Lady, took me down to where I've been lately. Yeah, her love can make a person hazy. Praying she won't break me down, 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 down. She makes me crazy. Never promise anything, but maybe I let her do anything, let her play me. She makes me go another round, 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 round. What are you doing to me now? You found a way to me somehow. Now you're all I ever dream about. Since I saw you, there's no easy way out. Hear me calling out to you. It's all that I can do. Baby, I am falling. Can't you hear me calling out to you? That's all that I can do. Tell me that you want me. Tell me that you need me. Baby, I am falling. Baby, hear me calling. Baby, I am falling. Baby, hear me calling. Lady, took me down to where I've been lately. Yeah, her love can make a person hazy. Praying she won't break me down. Yeah. What are you doing to me now? You found a way to me somehow. Now you're all I ever dream about. Since I saw you, there's no easy way out. Hear me calling out to you. It's all that I can do. Baby, I am falling. Can't you hear me calling out to you? That's all that I can do.
getting closer to midnight. I try to get closer to you. Drinking courage from my red cup now. I will soon make a move. Ooh, I can taste it. The bittersweetness of taking a shot. A risk worth taking. If it's a shot at love, baby, I adore you. Maybe I adore you. Yeah, I'm feeling high. I'm up on cloud nine. Baby, I adore you. I try to focus on breathing. My heart is skipping a beat. Your lips against a red cup makes me lose my mind completely. Ooh, I can taste it. The bittersweetness of taking a shot. A risk worth taking if it's a shot at love. Baby, I adore you. Maybe I adore you. Yeah, I'm feeling high. I'm up on cloud nine. Baby, I adore you. Trying my best not to lose control. I want you, that's all I know. Trying my best not to lose control. 'Cause I adore you, adore you. Trying my best not to lose control. I want you, that's all I know. Trying my best not to lose control. 'Cause I adore you. Baby, I adore you. Maybe I adore you. Yeah, I'm feeling high. I'm up on cloud nine. Baby, I adore you. Trying my best not to lose control. I want you, that's all I know. Trying my best not to lose control. 'Cause I adore you, adore you.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trader Talk Live. I'm just up and I'm not sleepy. And I said, would it be crazy if I went live at like midnight? So we doing it. We going live right here at midnight. So what's up? What's up? Everybody's in the building. Let's take a look at some of these comments. We had here, let me see. Oh, can I add it to the live stream? Oh, it's not letting me add your comment. I thought I could add it to the live stream. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, you guys' comments are popping up down there. Cool, 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 cool. So welcome to the live stream. We had Infinity said, Jason, wanted to thank you. Made my first 2K in options. That's what's up. That's what's up. Made your first 2K. Let me see. I don't know if you guys can see the comments, but welcome to the party. Welcome to the party. I hope this is I'm not sure what that meant. Oh, so I'm also testing out some new live and streaming software, and I can add you. I should be able to pop your comments up on the screen. So let me try this for a second here. We got Santiago says he's checking in from NYC. We got Sean checking in from Miami in the building. Let me go back up. Infinity, there it is. Said, wanted to thank you. Made my first 2K in options today. That's what's up. That's what's up. So happy to hear that. And I hope I was able to play a small role in you making some money from your first option trade. Or I don't know if it was your first option trade, but you made it today. So that's what's up. My man Code Destroy just found your channel tonight. Interested in hearing your input. Well, cool. We'll stick around because that's what we're going to be doing tonight. Just hanging out, talking stocks, talking the market. I just wanted to come on here and have some fun. So if you're watching the replay, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell notification, because we'll probably be doing some more of these pop-ups and just going live. So thanks for hanging out with me. My whole plan really was I was going to pull up the S&P 500 and just go through like 500 stock charts tonight. And I was like, why don't I just do it live? I don't know. It's like, why not? So here we are. Jasmine in the building said, glad I stayed up. I caught you the other day for the first time and added the alerts. That's what's up, Jasmine. Hit that bell notification so you can get notified when we go live. So here's what we're going to do, guys. I'm here for you tonight. I'm just here to hang out. I'm going to pull up some charts. We can go through some charts. We can look at some stocks, whatever. I do want to kick it off though by looking at the S&P 500 and just sharing my thoughts about the S&P 500 and where it's at right now, and just literally, what I think is going on in the market and what I think is to come. So let me share my screen. Let's get into it. I'm loving this. So boom, eCam live. Boom, let's share my screen. Let's go picture in picture. All right. So I'm looking at the S&P 500, and one of the things that I thought was very interesting about the S&P 500 was that although we got this major sell-off on coronavirus, like, look how quick we got at least a 50% bounce. Look how quick we just, boom, 50% recovery. And what's interesting about the stock market is, like, you gotta be ready. And what I mean by you have to be ready is when you look at the market and you look at this area right here, and this stuff gets me excited because, well, there's a saying that goes, if you stay ready, then you ain't got to get ready. And so what I took from that is, in this area, if you knew how to trade put options, okay, like you knew how to do a couple of things. If you know how to trade put options when the market was falling, you knew how to, number one, protect your account. Okay. That's number one. And number two, you knew how to potentially profit from the fall of the market. And the reason I'm saying if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, that's important, is because when the I don't want to cuss. I don't want to use profanity and say when the you know what hits the fan, but when the drama hits the fan and the market's selling off, that is not the time for you to be like, I need to learn how options work. It's like you should have already known how options work so you could be prepared for this moment to take advantage of a falling market. Now, on the other side, when you look at this bounce that right here that happens, a lot of people at this area right here, I can tell you, I see it all the time. A lot of people right here is like, I need to learn how the stock market works. I heard it's a good time to buy. I don't even know how to open an account. I don't know what to look for. And I think the problem that happens right here is you don't learn this information overnight. And so what happens is as you're down here saying, I need to learn it, you really should already know how it works. And then you can just put money to work and start buying some of your favorite stocks and catching that 50% move. And so education is like everything. And sometimes people look at this back here and like, the market's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Oh, I'm too late, I'm too late. But if you're using that time to get ready, to get prepared, you'll be ready for these big pullbacks. And that's not the only pullback that happened. If you back up, we had the China trade war pullback. So everybody remember that? We were beefing with China and trade war. And then we had this pullback. And so these pullbacks happen. And it's like, are you ready when the market pulls back to put money to work? Or are you ready with like call and put options to protect your account when the market pulls back and you're able to make money from the downside, right? So you gotta be ready when the opportunity presents itself. So throw me some questions. What do you guys want to look at? I know every Monday we go through 2 hours live with our members and we look at stock charts. I'm not necessarily, I'm open to just looking at just whatever you guys want to look at. Number one, because you just up late and you hanging out with me. So I think that's cool in itself. So is there any stocks you want to look at? Any questions you have about the market that I can help answer for you? So any specific stocks? I know a little bit earlier someone asked about a specific stock, but retype it in, and then whatever it is, let's talk about it tonight, because this is this market is my bad. We back. I heard somebody say I lost my sound, but we should be back now. We back now. So let me know if you can hear me. We should be good. My bad. You was getting the pinging noise, but we should be back. All right. But Brittany, let me know. Are you inside of the university? I'm not sure. So let me know. But we talked about, let me see. We talked about CRM inside the university. And just so I can not prove my point. I'm not really trying to prove anything, but I just want to show you guys something though. Well, actually, hold on. I'll show you that in a minute. Let's talk about CRM first. All right. So CRM, I'm loving the chart. First thing I'm noticing on CRM is that it's in a little bit of an uptrending channel here, right? So you got this boom, uptrending channel where you got this boom, boom, right? And so I'm anticipating a move back up here to about the 180 level. So that's number one. But then when you get technical, let's erase those lines that we just drew. All right. And then we throw the Bollinger Bands on it. You can see the stock is actually breaking out of a Bollinger Band squeeze. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's basically measuring volatility. And you can see when we got the squeeze here and got a breakout, we had a nice run up. We had the squeeze here, we got a breakout, we had a nice run up. So I'm fully anticipating a nice run up on CRM. And I'm going to show you something too, where we talked about this earlier inside the forum. And we talked about this for members. So we actually made a play on CRM today, actually. And so I like the stock. I like the company and what they do. And is it gonna let me inside my own forum? Yes, it is. So here, let me share my screen so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is where we did our midweek update. So I posted this, you can see 13 hours ago, closing out EMPH and then opening 2 new positions today in CRM and ZS. But this video kind of shows, I walked through the analysis of CRM in that video. But anyway, but I'm just saying we was already up on CRM. That's why I'm like, Brittany, are you inside the university? Because you must have just wanted to see CRM, or you knew that we talked about, maybe you didn't know that we talked about them today. So, you guys should be able to share my screen, see my screen, right? It shows my screen on the broadcast. A couple people said they can't see my screen. Can we look at Boeing? Let me just double check. I know we live. If you're watching the replay, I got to make sure my live people can actually see my screen. So I'm just double checking. Are you seeing my screen now? Yeah, you guys are seeing the screen. All right, cool. All right, somebody said, can we look at Boeing? Yeah, we can look at Boeing. Let's see here. Who want to look at Boeing? Is this Mr. Darius says, can we look at Boeing? So let's look at Boeing. All right. Boeing's another one. We got a really sweet play that we're doing right now on Boeing. But what we were looking at with Boeing, you can see this stock just completely plummeted and sold off. But that's not actually bad news. If you zoom out, what I love about Boeing right now is that you can see we got this level of support from way back. And so Boeing is holding around this $125 level. So when we zoom in, this is in the beautiful, nice channeling box. And the good thing about that is we have some plays that we're doing right now where we're just collecting rental income from Boeing. So if you're in the U or if you're not, what we're doing is we're selling options against this, bringing in rental income. And a lot of the members are just racking up some money from that. Matter of fact, I got it. It's just somebody talked about this today, but Boeing has been, it's been a beast for us. So I like Boeing. I like where it's headed. I like the fact that, let me move my camera up right there, because I think I'm being blocked by my logo here. So, but I really like what's, Boeing isn't going out of business. They're aerospace and defense. We're going to need airplanes in the future. They're not going anywhere. So I like Boeing. I like the chart, and I like that it's sitting at support right now. So I'm loving the Boeing. David Mark says, hit that Twilio call the other day, triple my portfolio today. want to start long-term. Any good long-term stocks that are off? Well, I like Boeing long-term because they're not going out of business. They're down at a nice support level. And I think it's somewhere that you can park some cash long-term. Let's see here. What other questions do we have? AO8 said, love that microphone. Yeah, that's the Hio PR40. This bad boy is crispy. Should be some real good audio being transcribed to the other side right now. All right. So Philip said, how do I exit out of a debit spread and get my collateral while in the money? How do I exit out of a debit spread and get my collateral while in the money? Well, if you're in a spread, basically to get out of it, you do the opposite of what you did to get into it. So if you bought an option and then sold an option, to unwind it, you need to buy that option back and then sell the one that you bought. So you basically just need to do the opposite of what you did to get into it is how you unwind it. All right. Let's take a look at Airbus. I don't know the ticker symbol for Airbus, but let's see if we can pull it up for Roch. So Airbus. Let me see here. Airbus. Let me go description. All right, so Airbus isn't coming up for me. Do you know the ticker symbol for it? Because I don't see when I type in Airbus for description or contains. I'm not seeing Airbus. So if you know the ticker symbol, let me know and I'll pull it up. All right. So 90 Magdalene wants to look at AT&T. Let's look at AT&T then. Boom. AT&T. Oh, their ticker symbol is just T. All right. I don't like it, man. I don't like this. You can see a couple things you can see here. So right here was the downtrend. So let me adjust this. You can see AT&T was stuck in a downtrend about right there. And then even though it snapped the downtrend, this thing is right back to the lows of where it fell to. And that's on the weekly chart. If I go to the daily though, and we zoom in on AT&T on the daily, you can see it fell down, bounce, but now it's just rolling over again. Like it wants to just come back down. Honestly, if I had to go with cellular, I like VZ. If I got to go with cellular, I'm picking Verizon. Why? If you look, Verizon's in an uptrend. All right, boom. There's the uptrend, which is different from AT&T. Let's go back to AT&T. See the difference? Downtrend. Let's go back to Verizon. And then if we were to snap some trend lines, you can see Verizon is in an uptrend. And then even though Verizon pulled back, it's still in what I like to call the winner's circle. This is the winner's circle, the top right-hand corner, because it's still uptrending. If you look at AT&T, it's pretty much in what I like to call the penalty box, right? It's in the bottom right half of your screen, which means downtrending versus uptrending. So if I had to go cellular, I like Verizon over AT&T. So those are my thoughts on that. Miseducated said, are you selling here? Miseducated said, are you selling calls or puts on Boeing? So inside of our group, inside of PTU, we're selling naked puts on Boeing and just collecting rental income. So that's one of the strategies we teach and deploy, and we're just milking that cow. Let's see here. Wells Fargo, code destroy. Wells Fargo. Let's bring it up. Let's bring up WFC and take a look at it. I don't like it. I don't like it. If we zoom out and snap some lines here, let's zoom out first of all. And if we were to put some lines on Wells Fargo, some trend lines, you can see easily, or at least I can see easily, boom, that was the downtrend right there. And then this thing just kind of fell off the cliff, right? It just fell all the way down. Now, you could argue, you could zoom out and say, okay, this was support at some point, but really this thing could fall down to this level before it catches support. Because if we go back closer to the daily, you can see right here, it just broke support. So before it would bounce, bounce, bounce. Right now, it's starting to break support on some pretty heavy volume right here, you can see. So I don't know that I would be excited to do anything with the banks right now, at least especially not this bank and not this chart with it falling out the box. That's not where I would put my money. So I would have to pass on the WFC. So those are my thoughts. All right. So if you are just joining us here, we're just hanging out midnight. It's almost 1 o'clock, at least Eastern Standard Time. If you're in California, I guess it's like 10 o'clock where you're at. But we're just hanging out, taking some questions because I'm bored. And I just thought this would be cool. Let's hang out and then let's talk stock market stuff. And then I could test out some of my stuff, like follow me on Instagram or pop up my little lower thirds. I also thought it'd be a cool way to test out some new live streaming software and some new stuff that I want to be able to do to connect more with you, the viewer, and give more value. And, you know, I just love talking to people. When you work from home, people get excited about working from home. It's kind of a lonely life. You know, it's like you, a microphone, and all your digital friends, you know. So I think people who are now working from home really see what us YouTubers and stock traders go through who just work from home every day. Some people are like, I can't take it. I got to get out the house. And so it's like, well, we just go live and talk to random people is what we do. So, all right, let's get back to some stock charts here. By the way, make sure you hit the subscribe button or the bell notification so you can get notified when we go live, even if you're watching the replay. So let's get back to sharing my screen here, and then let's look at some stocks. All right, so let's see here. We got ATVI is a tech stock. Okay, Brittany, I'm gonna come back to you just so I can get some other people in. Paul King, UCO, what's the long-term recovery? All right, let's bring up Paul King. Let's look at UCO. What is this? The crude oil, Paul? Oh my goodness. You got to stay away from this. All right. If you zoom out on crude oil, look at this. First of all, it's been selling off since 2009. All right. Crude oil, 2009, boom. 2011, boom. 2014, boom. And still just hanging out down here at all-time low. So I don't know when and if oil is coming back. I believe electricity is the future, electric, solar. And so I would more so be looking at electric companies like Tesla, EMPH, Solar City. I would stay away from oil. I'm not a big fan of oil. I don't care how low it gets. I don't think oil is the future. I think oil is slowly getting phased out. We'll always need some form and fashion of oil, but I think oil's days are limited, man. You got electric lawnmowers, electric snow blowers, you got electric lawn tools. Now we got electric cars. You got companies that are powering their factories with solar and electric energy. I'm not a big fan of the oil. So I would pass on the oil, man. So Miseducated said, where did you learn to trade? Oh my goodness. I've been in the game for about 16 years. The company, let me pop you up. The company that I initially learned from is no longer in business. So it doesn't make sense for me to bring up their name, but they're no longer in business. But I read some books. I did some trial and error. I finally took a 4,000. I think I paid like 4,000 for my first course with that company that's no longer in business. Probably spent another 10,000 flying around, going to their seminars, buying software, stuff like that. And then just, trial and error, so that's how I learned. DJ crying. So I'm gonna switch. If I'm not sharing my screen, if I'm just answering questions, I'm gonna go full screen, and then we'll go back to the charts when I get to a chart. So DJ crying says, do you teach credit and debit spreads for smaller accounts? So it's not really about having a smaller account or not. I teach debit and credit spreads as a form of risk management. So we call those neutral trading strategies. So debit and credit spreads are typically strategies where it doesn't matter if the stock goes up, doesn't matter if the stock goes down. You want it to mostly stay within a pretty tight range typically. Well, that could be one strategy, or you need to move up big or down big, but it's mostly for neutral trading strategy. So yeah, I teach that inside of my advanced options course. So great question. David Mark says, I like this setup. Cool, man. Thanks for joining. Leseg 3, I think I'm saying that right. Lekeg 3. I'm going to read your starter course. Would love to become financially independent. Well, the first way to start is with the education, right? Once you get the education, then you can put it to work for you in the market. And I truly believe that's where it starts. Because once I realized how this stuff works was when I realized, what it could do for me and my family. Philip says, what does it mean when you've been trying to sell for 3 days and it doesn't get filled? So it can mean a couple of things. It can mean that the price that you're asking for, nobody wants to pay. So let's just say a stock's trading for $30, but the next bid is at 31 and you saying you want to get out at 30. Well, if nobody's willing to buy until it hits, if you want 31, but the next person that wants to buy is not willing to pay more than 30, and the stock doesn't move the next day that much, and the stock doesn't move the next day that much, well, there's no incentive for this guy to come up from 30 to 31. So you either need to drop your price down to $1, and then you can get filled. Or if you're dealing with options, we teach that you need to have a certain amount of open interest before you enter an option trade, because if you get into what I like to call a small pool of buyers and sellers, then you do have a problem with liquidity. When you try to unload it, there's nobody to unload it to. And now you're stuck trying to hope you can get out of the trade. So it could be that. I don't know what trade you're in, but it could be a couple of those things, right? So Miseducated says, how long before you were able to support yourself from trading? So Miseducated, I will tell you that if you're not familiar with my story, I am a big believer in having multiple streams of income. So when I was about 22, 23, I was making about $100,000 in the stock market. And that was enough to support me because I was just a young kid. I didn't have a house, a wife, nothing like that. But then I made a lot of money and lost a lot of money. And I realized it was all about multiple streams of income. And so my advice to you would not be to rely on one stream of income, because the stock market, for the most part, let's just say you have to pay rent this month. The stock market doesn't care that you have to pay rent this month. So there's no guarantee you'll have a profitable trade this month. You might go 2 months before you get a profitable trade. And so the way I live my life now is you need to live your life year to year, which means I have enough money to last a whole year, whether I make a trade or not, because I don't need that pressure of having to be enforced to make some type of a trade. Plus, I have other businesses. I have affiliate income. I have YouTube income. I have internet marketing income, business income. If you're not familiar with I did a podcast, my 8 streams of income. I would check that out. Matter of fact, I think this is I just want to show you real quick. I definitely think that's something you should check out. So let me share my screen here. If you go to, let me see here. Boom, 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 boom. My channel. Check out this episode. Boom, boom, boom. I know we live right now, but check out this one right here. My 8 streams of income. Right. So go check out that episode where I talk about the 8 different ways that I make money. I think you really want to have multiple streams of income and not just rely on the stock market for your money. All right. So I would check out that episode called My 8 Streams of Income, because I think that could really help you out when you're trying to decide like when to go full time from the stock market, or, you know, when to leave your job or something like that. All right. Lost Craft says buying Tesla's covered cause if it gapped down. I don't know if that was just a statement that you're buying, or should you buy Tesla? I'm not sure. All right, can we see SPCE? All right, so Elmo Shiva, can we see SPCE? All right, let's get back to some stock charts, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do it. Let's do it, Elmo Shiva. All right, SPCE. So Virgin Galactic. Oh, I remember when this stock like shot way up to 42, then it just straight up crashed. This stock is highly speculative, but if I'm just looking at it from a pure technical standpoint, number one, they got earnings coming up. That would have been today or yesterday, May 5th. So if this pattern holds, I like this uptrending pattern, right? Boom, boom. We call this one of the 3 most popular trends. That's the uptrending channel. So technically, if you were going to buy, the best time to buy would be off these bounces of support, which that would have been yesterday, maybe even today. See if you can get a move back up to here. And then this is where I'd be selling, because typically we get a sell-off about right there. So that's how I would play the whole Virgin Galactica SPCE stock. So, and I think, what are they into? Like flying people to the moon or something like that. So that's how I would do SPCE. All right. Brittany says, let's take a look at First Solar. Let's look at FSLR. It's funny, like when you in the stock market, you like know stocks by their ticker symbol. First Solar in a downtrend, right? Boop, 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 boop. But that's long term. If you look recently, it's been in an uptrend. My problem with this uptrend is that typically when we get about right here, we get a sell-off, right? And so it's pretty close to right here, which is about 48. It's about $4 away. So I don't know that I would take the risk just to try to make $4, not knowing if once it hits that $4, it's going to pull back. So for that reason, I'd probably pass on Virgin Galactica. First Solar. And it looks like they had earnings today. Let's just take a look and see if they had earnings after the bell or not. They're up 83 cents. So First Solar tops Q1 earnings. So that's good. If they topped earnings, they're up about 81 cents. A good chance they might get that rally up to 8 or about 48, 49. You could try to take that $5 ride. If you do, I would just say be careful, be locked and loaded and ready to sell, right up here, because it got up here before, boom, turn around. Got up here before, boom, turned around. So that's the pattern that I see. And until it breaks it and does something different, we just have to believe that that's how it's going to play out for the stock. So that would be my thoughts on First Solar. Rod said, is natural gas stocks any good? I'm not sure. Give me a specific stock you want to look at and we'll pull it up. All right. Eugenia says, thank you for this interaction. Glad to be here. I'm woke. You woke. Let's get it in. This is what we do for like 2 hours live every Monday inside the U. Let's see. Derek says, let's bring Derek up. Derek says, can you explain the difference between just doing regular calls and puts versus call put spreads? So the difference, Derek, is when you're doing a regular call and a regular put, you are basically saying you believe a stock is going in one direction. Okay. So you buy a call, you just think the stock is going up. If you buy a put, you just think the stock is going down. But let's just say I buy a call and I buy a put. That's called a straddle. So maybe what I'm saying now is I don't know if it's going to go up. I don't know if it's going to go down, but I think it's going to move big in one direction or the other. So that's one strategy. it could be I'm buying a call, but I'm selling the call on top of it because I think it's going to go up. But just in case it doesn't go up, it goes sideways, I want to reduce my risk or pass off the time risk to somebody else in case it doesn't move up fast enough. So when you start to mix and match spreads, debits, credits, calls and puts together, iron condors, you're becoming more of what I like to call a strategist versus a gambler. And you're just like, I think it's going up. This is more like, I believe it's going up, but if it doesn't, I'm hedging my risk. I think it's going up, but it could also go down and I still make money. Or, so there's all these combinations. So that is the difference between just buying a straight call, doing these debit spreads, credit spreads, iron condors, all this stuff. It's more about becoming a strategist, which is why we teach that in the third level of class, because you're mixing 2, 3, and sometimes 4 options together to create this sophisticated option strategy to where most likely you win. I won't say you win no matter what, but it's a higher probability chance that you're going to win almost no matter what the stock does within a defined range. So let me know if that makes sense to you. All right. So, hey. All right. We got to lay down some rules for the live stream. So number 1, no profanity. Number 2, no disrespecting any other members. If we do see that, we might have to boot you from the live stream. We're all here having some fun, excited. So make sure we're being friendly to everybody else. So anyway, I just saw a comment that, wasn't my flavor. That's not the energy I'm trying to bring into the house here at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning. All right. We're all up, hanging out, having some fun. So let's be respectful of everybody. Gavin says, by the way, it's probably about, let's see here. Gavin, let's drop another one of these up here. But Gavin just said, I'm digging your breakdowns and explaining the charts. Much appreciated. Cool. Thanks, man. Judy Garcia, by the way, boom, there's my man Gavin. All right, Judy says, what are good stocks to look at with $1,000? All right, Judy. So if you have $1,000, okay, I'll give you one stock we just looked at in the membership last night. All right, so let me share my screen. We looked up Okataka, I think it is. So let's go. First of all, if you know how to trade options, then you can really do anything with $1,000. But if you're just looking to straight buy some stock, we were looking at OSTK. And what I liked about OSTK, which is Overstock, you can see it's a $16 stock. All right. So if you got $1,000, let's just do some quick math here. If you got $1,000, you divide that by 16. That means you can buy about 62 shares. I believe that based on the chart, this stock can get up here to 22. So from where it's at about $16 to 22, that's $6. So if you were able to buy 62 shares, because you can't buy a half share, so 62 shares times $6, that's not bad. I mean, if you took $1,000 and made 372, you divide that by $1,000. And that is a 37% return. That's assuming it goes up here to 22. But based on the chart, that's where the resistance is at, because you can see right here, that's where it sold off before, right here, right here. So I have reason to believe that this channel, boom, boom, right, boom, is where it's going to go before it runs into resistance again. So, I mean, that's just one potential trade. I just know that one because we just talked about that with the members last night. If you're a member, don't kill me that I'm sharing all this on YouTube. Y'all get me every week. We just vibing out at midnight, having some fun. But that's one stock you can consider that's under 1,000. That's just one of the ones that came to my mind. So, Brittany says, I remember you said you had a pretty good job before you left. Yeah, I had a good job. I was making like $110,000 a year before I left corporate America. But, when I left, I was making somewhere like pretty much like $500,000 a year when I left. So I was making like 4-5 times my salary when I finally left corporate America. And I made sure I had no debt and all that other stuff. So all that was important to me because I never wanted to go back. I left corporate America actually 2 other times, and I had to go back to work because I didn't really plan it right. So you want to make sure you're planning it right, and that, if you're leaving work, you want to leave and make sure you're not ever coming back. You don't want to leave and have to come back. So what other stocks you guys want to see or questions that you got? Let's see here. Malik says, how would you play Walmart earnings? All right, so let's take a look at it, Malik. Let's look at Walmart, WMT. So earnings is coming up on Walmart May 19th. So my thoughts on Walmart, because they're a food and staple. So food and staple, if you don't know what Staples is like a store that sells products like deodorant, toothpaste. Those are staples. Those are things that you need no matter if there's a pandemic or not. Because I believe more people have been shopping online. Walmart has an online presence. Walmart also owns Sam's Club, if you didn't know that. You got people stocking up on toilet paper, tissue, food, stuff like that. So I believe Walmart and their other entity, Sam's Club, and you mix that with online shopping, delivery, curbside pickup, I think they're going to thrive in this market, and it's a good chance that they're going to beat earnings. So I would be long Walmart going into earnings if it was me. If I were to look at some options, though, I would probably buy the stock just and hold the stock at $121 a share. But if you don't have the money to buy the stock, let me see here. What I would probably look at as far as the option chain, I like to give myself, at this point, I like going all the way out to January 21 on options, because you just never know. If for some reason they miss earnings, I don't want to be sitting here worried about the option expiring on me. So if you don't want to buy the actual stock, you can come in here and buy, I'm trying to see which one of these I would like. The 105 is going for about 21 bucks. So that's going to put your break even at about 126 right here, right? So what that's basically saying is I can have the right to control Walmart from now until 253 days, okay? And I'm going to pay $21 to control 100 shares. And then if I pay 21 bucks and my strike is 105, then my break even is 126. If you look at the chart, all Walmart has to do is get here between now and 256 days to break even. If they beat earnings and things are good, which I think they probably will, I mean, you can see it return up here to about 132. So it's a good chance you'll go way past your break even way before the 256 days. That's probably how I would play Walmart going into earnings. If you also zoom out, look at the trend on Walmart, right? So the overall trend on Walmart is up. And so think about extrapolating that option out over 256 days. If you go back 256 days, where was the stock? Does that make sense? So like we could go back, I don't know, 256 days is like 6 months. So 6 months ago would have been about in December. So the stock in December went from 84 to as high as 131. So I want you to think about that, being able to control it for 253 days and knowing it moved as big as it did over the last 6 months. I think that's the reasonable option to go with. And it's cheaper than buying the stock, which is why I like trading options. And then you still have the longevity of not having to worry about it for 253 days. So that's how I would play Walmart, man. So hopefully that helps. Let's see, where are we at with the comments? They're all coming in so quick. Walmart. I know I answered the Walmart already. Do you think a put would be a good play with the sudden rise today? I don't know what stock you're talking about, Ruben, so I'm not 100% sure. Sure. Eugenia, your live chat management atmosphere cultivation is honorable. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. We're all just real people in here trying to have fun. You know what I'm saying? So thank you. DJ Crime. I mean, wait, let's see. Brittany, I do just wanted Jason's analysis. All right. DJ Crime says, how do you get those resistance lines on your chart? It's part of the software. I got buttons and stuff I can click to draw these different lines, but I can do this with almost any software. So it's just all kind of drawing tools. Robert Jackson says, do you ever trade penny stocks? I do not trade penny stocks. I'm not a big fan of investing in stocks that are under $5. Typically, if they're under $5, it means that the stock is about to go, or the company is possibly getting ready to go out of business. Those aren't really stocks that I like dealing with. I don't like dealing with stocks that are close to going out of business or struggling to handle, whatever their business is. So it's not my thing. So, all right, Jasmine, give me 1 second. We'll look at CHG, and then LUV. Let me see. La Casa says, thanks kindly. I'm sleepy. Yeah, we're going to wrap this up in a second. This was fun. This was a fun late night live stream. All right, let's get back to the charts. We'll do a couple more charts, and then, yeah, we'll wrap this up. This was fun. We'll have to do this again. All right, let's do a couple more charts. So we got Jasmine saying she wants to see CHGG. CHGG. Let's take a look at it, Jasmine. So stocks like this, Chegg, stocks like this, I do not invest in. And the reason why is because when you have a big gap up like this, obviously it's because earnings, you don't have the 3 Ps, what I like to call CPP or CRP. I got so many acronyms. All right. So what is CRP? I like trading stocks that have CRP. All right. And this is one of the things I teach. So what is CRP? Don't ding me if I spell this wrong. I didn't go to school for spelling. All right. I'm a math guy. And even then I get math wrong. But I like things that have a consistent, repeatable pattern. Okay, that is my game. I like to trade stocks that fit the CRP model. There's a consistent, repeatable pattern. Okay, and so when we go back to the stock that you just talked about, I don't have a pattern here. Okay, I did have a pattern here. Let me show you. I did have a pattern right here because the stock was channeling. You see that? Boom, boom. I had a pattern. Boom. So I got a tradable pattern now. So when it does this, I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy right here. I'm going to sell right here. I'm going to buy back in down here. I got a consistent, repeatable pattern based off previous history. When this stock does this and gaps up like that, I no longer have a consistent, repeatable pattern. So I'm basically telling you, I don't know what this stock is going to do from here. Is it going to come back down? Is it going to go higher? There's no consistent, repeatable pattern. So for that reason, I'm not going to trade it. And so I don't force my will on stocks in the stock market. I let the pattern in the trades come to me. And if I don't see a pattern, I just don't trade it. All right. Mr. Lawman says, let's take a look at Love, which is, I know it's an airline stock. I just forget which one. So let's pull up Love. Oh my goodness. Pain for the airlines. I'm not a big fan of, I would rather go with the airline manufacturer like Boeing than try to pick which one of these airline stocks is not going to go bankrupt. Okay. So I don't like this chart. We just went through this with the members about airline stocks. I did like that it was up in a nice uptrend before this all happened, but this thing is falling. And just when you think it's stabilizing, it's falling again. So I'm going to pass on that. I don't know that I would short it. Well, I guess you could short it. I mean, look at this trend. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. These people who bought on this rally just got head faked. Fell from 42 to 25, almost cut in half again. And who knows when people are going to be comfortable flying again. So if I was going to do anything, I'd buy some put options. And as long as it stays below this trend line, I would trade it to the downside. The moment it comes up and breaks this trend line, I would close out my bearish trades. But that's how I would probably trade LUV. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thought there. All right. Is there any upside potential? Let's go Jeremy to win Wyndham. You know, this is another one we talked about with the members. I don't like the fact that their business is predicated on people spending money that is in excess. I don't think anybody has any excess money to just spend right now, right? Discretionary money to just blow. So I don't like the fact that their income is dependent on discretionary income in market environment where people are losing their jobs, deferring payments, not sure if they'll be working. So that's number one. Second thing is I don't necessarily want to invest where their business is predicated on people flying to where their locations are at when people are scared to get on planes. So we got 2 or 3 things that's going against them. People, when are going to feel comfortable staying in a hotel? When are going to feel comfortable getting on a plane? And then in this current market environment, who wants to go blow a couple grand at the casino right now? If you're a business owner and you've been shut down, you're just trying to keep your doors open. Maybe you're floating payroll for employees. Revenues probably dropped. And so I don't necessarily see why we would rush to jump into casino or gaming stock. So I'm going to roll with stay away. I'm not a big fan of casino stocks right now. All right. So those are my 2 cents on that. Let's go Tawana. We'll take a couple more and then we'll wrap this up. Tawana, do you typically add funds to your portfolio as you go along, or do you fund it with a certain amount and use that only and compound from there? So Tawana, I move money in and out of my account all the time. If I see an opportunity and my money's tied up, but I got 100 grand sitting, I might send 100 grand in and be like, I want more. There's other times where I'm like, I don't like this market. And so that I don't do something stupid, I might send some money out and make sure I don't have as much in there to do something stupid with. So I'm constantly moving money in and out of the market. It just becomes a natural ebb and flow. So, that's all I can tell you. All right. So, David says in 1990, Netflix was trading at 40 cents. Hey, man, you know, hindsight's 2020. You know what I'm saying? I bet everybody wish they had something at 40 cents, but at 40 cents, you weren't a believer in the new technology and streaming and if it would last. So there's always a little bit of risk that comes with being an early adopter, buying something when it's new and trying to figure out if it's going to be the next world leader, right? You had Netflix, then you had people like, there's Blockbuster. Why would I buy Netflix? Sometimes you just don't know, you know, who's gonna blow. But sometimes you got to have some money to sit for the long term and bet on where the future is going, not where it's currently at. Michael Robinson says, how do you build a small account? I think the number one way you build a small account is by using options. You need to be able to control better, high quality, higher price stocks. And you need to get a bigger return than you can get by buying the stock if you have a smaller account. So that's how I would grow a smaller account. That's how I did grow my small account. All right. So do you trade international stocks? I don't trade international stocks. There's so many stocks in the US that I don't really think there is a need to go outside the US. Roy says, do you do crypto? No, I think there's just too many good US stocks to even worry about trying to trade crypto. So don't deal with crypto. So here's the thing, guys, as we get ready to wrap up, this has been fun. So I hope you guys had as much fun tonight as I did. And it was cool to just get on here at midnight. I wasn't sleepy. And to see so many of you show up and hang out with me and show some love, ask some questions. This was fun. This was fun. I think we should do it again because I have a lot of late nights where I'm just not sleepy. And then maybe we can do some live streams throughout the day when the stock market is going on. So be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. If you know someone else who could benefit from this, share it with your friends. And again, thanks for hanging out with me. I'll see you guys in the comments. I'll see you guys around. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me.